There we go. All righty. This one's going to be. Gotta get used to this new tripod. Okay. Where we at? Behind that preposition. According to Miss Price. Got it. Got a couple more. Oh, there we go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, and I am here today to teach you neuropability. How we're going to use your mind to get you to become your best. On your own, go ahead and inhale and exhale 3 times. Here we go. Okay, today's topic is get organized and stay organized. You will need note-taking materials for this live, as well as a second device so that you can access the website, theturnarounddoctor.com. You're going to go there, and then you're going to go to the 74 Principles of Real Leadership tab. And from there, today, we will still be under effective, and we are discussing get and stay organized. You're going to get organized, and you're going to stay organized. As a review, just so that you can understand and get into your amazing brain, the process that we're using, neuropability. First step is neurogenesis. Neurogenesis is the creation of new neurons. And in order for this process to work, number 1, you have to challenge yourself. Number 2, you're going to be learning new skills. And number 3, in order for these new neurons to survive, they need to be in an environment that is enriched. Now, none of this is going to stick if you are in a stressful, fearful, toxic environment. So everything I'm saying only works when your new neurons are in an enriched environment where you can learn, grow, and flourish. Stress and fear and toxicity don't work. And that's not over here, okay? The next is what you're going to do once you have the new neurons is you're creating neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to wire itself and rewire itself to create new neural pathways. And so now you're going to have new neurons. They're going to wire themselves and create new neural pathways. And that's how you get to neuropability. And neuropability is when you train your brain to hold yourself personally accountable on a daily basis using the 74 principles of real leadership so that you can have unlimited neural pathways, you can access your best, and you actually have control of the life that you want to have because you get to create it on the day-to-day basis. So that is what we're here learning today and using and leveraging is neuropability, hence my brain shirt and my brain background. Now we're going to get into get organized and stay organized. Again, if you're new, you need to go to Amazon and get my book. I initially said you don't need it, but research has shown that you actually do so that you can have the stories and the references. It's the textbook. It's like if you go to any religious organization, you got to have their book, their holy book, the same concept, because it is the way to get to your best every single day. I don't sell the book. Wholesalers sell it. I used to sell it, not necessarily interested in doing it again. Somebody else can have economic development in that regard. We are here to say get organized and stay organized. Now, I just want to be completely honest with you. Be honest is one of the 74 principles of real leadership under authentic. Good morning, Sharonda. Now, I don't have a problem being honest. Sometimes I'm brutally honest with myself and everybody else. But what I do have a problem with is other people asking me, Donna, I want to get organized. I've been online, in person, everything. Oh, I just want to be organized. I just want to get organized. I know if I just get my life together, I just get organized, everything's going to be great. And then I send them my get organized videos and crickets and my articles about get organized. And then I give them my systems and they don't use them. So this morning I had a strong conversation with myself and God because I hate fucking teaching get organized and stay organized because people don't do what I'm saying. They don't do what I'm saying. And then they don't understand why shit ain't working out. Because you didn't do what I told you to do. You didn't get organized and stay organized. And so people have excuses where that's a reason wrapped up in an excuse. And they start excusing lying and all of this. And now that I know it's neurological, I don't want to hear it. So my video introducing my live today literally said, if you don't want to get organized and stay organized for real, don't come to today's live. Do not come, because I am sick and tired of telling people how to do it and they're not using it. And then they still can't get their lives together and they want to know why. Well, no, you know what Marie Kondo said, I just need some clear containers. And if I put my cereal and all my pasta in it, my life's going to be organized. And that, no, No, and your stuff is gonna go stale because it doesn't have a date on it anymore. You're not gonna remember when you put the pasta in clear containers anyway. So unless you got a FIFO system or something else, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna just make my house pretty and I'm gonna put a bunch of pillows on my bed and all that, and that's what's going to make me organized and stay organized. It's not. It's absolutely not. So this is not a lesson that I want to teach, but I am going in order of the 74 principles of real leadership. So if you feel any kind of da might just be energetically just a little bit off today because I am literally over people saying that they want to get organized and stay organized when they actually don't. They actually want someone else to do it. If they could delegate something in their life, this definitely would be it because it takes mental effort. And if you have any toxicity, any cognitive overload, any hijacked amygdala or anything, this right here is going to send you over the edge. It definitely is. And people just don't want to do it. It just takes so much time. It just takes so much time. It does take upfront work, and then it does it after that. That's why it's get organized and stay organized. Because what happens is you get organized, and then you don't stay organized. And now there's more chaos, and more life has happened, and more things are introduced into your life. And now it just becomes this whole thing. And now you need some mental health days from a life that you created, the shit show palooza. And now you want somebody to rescue you from you, but you don't want to do that second part. So it's equivalent to hold yourself personally accountable, and others, you don't want to do that part. You want to get organized, but you don't want to stay organized. You want to put your shoes in the box, but then when you take them off and put them on, you don't want to put them back in the box. You want to get a job, you want to get better existences, but then you don't want to maintain everything that you have to do. So I've gotten that out the way. Not one of my favorite topics for the simple fact that people don't actually want to do it. But I'm being obedient. So here we are today talking about get organized and stay organized. So the first thing I want to do is talk about, because in my book, the story that I have is when I became a second lieutenant, I used to be able to keep everything in my head because it was just me solo dolo at college. Got to Korea, and now I have 30 adults that I'm responsible for, and equipment and weapons and vehicles and buildings and soldiers and all of their equipment and everything. And it was so much. I thought, I'm like, oh, I'll just write it on a piece of paper and I'll remember it. And I was forgetting stuff left and right. So I had to get extremely organized because now I am responsible for 30 grown adults and myself too. So that didn't work. So past 22 years old, my whole system of I got a good brain, I got a damn near photographic memory, I can keep it in my head, should start falling apart. I start missing things and dropping the ball. So that wasn't going to work. That's the example in the book. And I was going to use that example this morning. And I thought, yeah, you got a lot more going on than when 1996, 1997, when you were in your early 20s. So here's what I decided to do, because people love to tell me, you don't understand that, because see, I got that. They start listing off all the things that they have to do, all the things they say yes to willingly, but they're going to tell me about, I don't understand how much they have to do. So sit back, grab some popcorn, some coffee. I'll maybe about 4 minutes it might take or less. I'm going to just read to you what I accomplished or what I have to do before you see me live at 5:30 a.m. Okay? Are we ready? Now, I personally don't think that it's a lot. You can chime in when I'm finished and tell me, yep, that's doable. Might be a little bit too much. I don't know. I do more than you, and we can have that conversation. But because I was in the Army back when the Army used to say we do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day. So we're going to see. And Kevin, if you're on here, you were just on the West Coast. 5:30, it hits different on the West Coast than on the East Coast. Like, whoa, this is a different time of day for those of you on the East Coast. You're like, ooh, okay, yes, the moon is still out. Okay, cool. So here's what happens, ladies and gentlemen, and what I'm demonstrating is the story in my book. I was a young second lieutenant, no responsibilities but myself. I had a car note, and that was it. And now I am 51, so it's almost 30 years later because it's 29 years later come June. Okay, so here is what I do. I wake up at 3 o'clock a.m. I have an old school alarm clock where the music still comes on. So my first alarm comes at 3 a.m. And right now, fucking spring forward is messing with me, so I need my alarm. But normally, I'm up before my alarm. Right now, Jesus take the wheel. I got 6 more days before I get acclimated to this new schedule. So my alarm clock goes off at 3 a.m. I wake up, I go use the bathroom, sanitize, wash my hands, and then I make up my bed. I completely make up my whole entire bed. And from there, I now come because I have a primary and a primary retreat. So I walk to the other side. And this is where my office is. I start working on the live. So I have this notebook right here, which you see, and I start doing all of my research for the live. Now, why do I do it in the morning? I do it in the morning because I don't want to do it at the end of the day, because the end of the day energy might be in the live. So now the only thing I've done is slept, and I wake up and now I am preparing for the live. If we have an 8 o'clock appointment, all of this goes out the window because I have to adjust my schedule. But most days, this is what I do. So now I prepare for the live. I have a second alarm that goes off at 3:50 a.m. because that alarm lets me know that I now need to prepare for my posting on social media. So I'm preparing for the live. If I have to do any research, if I have to read any articles, I write my notes and everything. And as you all can see, everything is nice and organized in my great penmanship. No, it's not, but I can understand it. And then today's live, because it's a short one, I just have 2 pages. But there are days when I have 5 to 6 pages worth of notes, especially if I'm just talking about the burn. Now, I make the live notes. And by 3:50, my second alarm goes off. I walk right back around the corner to my primary and I take that alarm. I have 2 posts that I make every morning. So the first post is the introduction for the day because I make journées. So I take my stories for the whole entire day, turn it into a journée, and put that on my YouTube channel. Kevin, you received a link of that. So there are about 2,080 or 90 of those. I've been doing that since June of, I want to say about 2017 or something like that. Whatever 2,000 is, almost 2,100 days ago, that's what it is. So now I go in KindMaster, I download the introduction and the 4 a.m. club post from KindMaster. Now, I start with Instagram. So I put the introduction and the 4 a.m. club post in Instagram stories. I then put it in Instagram feed with content. I then move over to LinkedIn, because I'm going in order. And I put the 4 a.m. club in LinkedIn. I then go to Pinterest. I put that 4 a.m. club in Pinterest. I then scroll down to Snapchat and I put it in the Explore page or whatever it's called in Snapchat and on my public page too. So that's 3 posts, 3 times. Those 2 posts go in Snapchat. Next, I move over to Threads. I post it on Threads. I then move over to TikTok. I post it in the stories, the 2 stories in the stories on TikTok, the one in the feed on TikTok. And then I move down to Twitter and I post it in Twitter. Y'all got that? Now, the next thing I do, this background was a similar background. I set up the live. So now you have to go to YouTube. I set up the live. I make sure it's only for 18 and above. I write the description and then I copy that link. Now from there, I've got my brain t-shirt on. I put on whatever wig I have on, and then I record 2 videos and 1 audio. The first video I record is announcing whatever the live is. So that if you see me, I have on the exact same hair and the exact same t-shirt, and I'm telling you what I'm getting ready to talk about. The next video that I record is the Real Leader Brain. The Real Leader Brain is a different playlist on YouTube where I talk about a specific topic. I take one word, give you the definition of that word, and then I have the video. The next thing I record is an audio. That audio is the personal accountability for the day. Some of you are in a PA challenge. Currently, there are about 260 PA challenges. So there will be more. You can do, we'll be at a year of you being able to do nothing but PA challenges. From there, I edit the videos. Kevin, you are now using KindMaster. So I put 1 video in my YouTube stories that has a link to the live. And then I edit a second video, which is in the feed and the stories of everything else, write up a description for that. And now I post all of that so people know, here's what we're getting ready to talk about on the live. Now, in addition to that, I go downstairs and I make a snack. I have coffee, I have a boiled egg, I make a nasal solution, and then I come back upstairs and I do my nasal rinse. From there, I do the YouVersion Bible app, which is in this notebook right here. And as we can see, I've done it this morning already. So now I do the video, the devotional, as well as the guided meditation. And then from there, I set up my other 2 notebooks for the day, which are my notebook for me keeping all my content and my Duolingo notebook as well. Finally, what I do is I still have a printed calendar. And so I look to see who's in challenges, who's going to have a 10-day, a 20-day, a 30-day, or a 27-day, and does anybody need a certificate? When that happens, then I ensure that I have their certificate made for the day. Finally, we have appointments. And so today we have 3 appointments. This is from Miss Nola. She's telling me everybody's information, what we're going to be doing on the front, what time the appointment is. On the back is what we have to do so that I know what time we need to leave. That's my 3 o'clock to 5:30 a.m. That's what I do before I click the live button. What questions do you have about getting organized and staying organized? Because that's the first 2.5 hours of my day. Then I'm going to be on live. Then I'm going to take a shower. Then I'm going to stretch. and then I'm going to go on appointments with my daughter, and then I'm going to read, and then I'm going to post for the rest of social media. Sometimes I have to cook dinner depending on what's happening, and then I'm going to respond to everybody that's in the doggone challenges as well, and anything else that I need to do. So that's my 7 days a week morning, day in and day out. Any questions on getting organized and staying organized? I'm about to go through what part of your brain that you use, but that's me for the first 2.5 hours of my day. Any questions? So while Sharonda is typing, here's what I will say. So when someone tells me they can't get organized and stay organized, I hope you can now understand why I got zero negative 50% tolerance for hearing it. Because what we could have is a discussion about why you don't have the ability to get organized and stay organized. But what I hear is everybody can't be like you, Dr. Donna. You're not human. You're superhuman. You have a superpower. You all these other things. Well, that's just how you are. I'm not cut from that cloth. I'm different. And my situation is different than your situation. But no one really ever asked me how. How the hell are you doing all of that? How every day in and day out? How is that taking place? Well, I have a calendar here too. So here is my actual physical calendar as well. So I still do a physical calendar. I haven't moved to a digital calendar. I'm going to go into, but notebooks are my primary way of staying organized. Also note cards and Post-it notes. So this is how I'm old school when it comes to that. I just want you to hit the lottery for 500 million so you can so you can take a day off. I would not take a day off. And Kevin, we live in Las Vegas, and so believe it or not, with all this gaming, the lottery is illegal here. So people who want to do one of those Powerball, Power 5, I don't even know and I actually did my master's thesis on the lottery. But anyway, you have to go to the state line and go purchase your lottery tickets at the state line if you want to do any of those Powerball trainings or anything. We don't have, because of gaming, we don't have the lottery here in Las Vegas. So Sharonda, I'm gonna go through the process and then let's see if you still have questions. But yes, for me, I have my notebooks are in the garage, they're in my closet, in storage and everything. So I look back so I can have a record. So I have Duolingo notebooks, and then here's my other brain notebook as well. As I mentioned, I showed y'all that my posters are gonna fall out because I cleaned my desk. But here, I told y'all they were gonna fall out. So here is my brainstorming brain notebook, with all my ideas and everything else that I need to research. So that has worked for me. Sometimes people are visual learners. Nola has digital and dry erase calendars for her to maintain. You do have to first you need to know how you learn. And then as a result of that, that's how you will become organized, because you'll need to be able to see it when you see it. Regina is not on here today, but she is a visual learner. So she needs to see everything in picture forms and infographics and things like that. And so that will support her growth and development. So you'll find out how you learn. Just think about in school, when you did your best in class, that's how you learn best. So that's the format that you would need to use in order to get organized and stay organized. Back in the day, people used to use those Stephen Covey planners, and that's what's mentioned in my book. But when people say get organized and stay organized, they say use my system. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying use the system that you're going to use to stay organized. It's simpler to get organized. It's much harder to stay organized. Now, to go back to Kevin's point, I have a caloric personality, but what happens is when you're doing something daily, and remember, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of days where I've been doing things. What happens is it becomes part of your working memory, and you still need to challenge yourself. So the reason why I do this much in the morning is because of how much I'm able to accomplish. So if I did not do this much this morning, the idle mind is a devil's workshop, or you can say a bored mind never does anything rewarding. The same concept has to take place. So I'm pushing the limits of or pushing my boundaries of what's possible in any given day. Because remember, I told y'all I have this concern that you all are going to catch me. Nola rolled her eyes at me the other day when I said that and went and looked the other way. But just in case, because I did read the Bill Gates book, The Road Ahead, and he said if you're ahead of somebody and they catch you or pass you, that means you slowed down or you stopped. So I'm 2 levels up, believing that there will be millions of people holding themselves personally accountable. And so where do I need to be for those millions of people? And if you're doing something every day, what do I need to do to ensure that you don't catch up to me or pass me, so that as the originator and the creator of neuropability, personal accountability, and the theory of personal accountability, 74 principles of real leadership, who do I need to be to continue to do that? We used to see it in karate movies all the time. You had that old head, 10th degree black belt and all that, and here comes some young monk, some young person, some young jit thinking they about to take him out, and master just go, wah, 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 and dude is on the floor. Like, oh, okay, yeah, so I got work to do. I thought I was going to take the old man out, but that did not work. That was a dumbass plan. So that is the whole concept, because lead by example is one of the principles of real leadership, and all real leaders will never ask you to do something that they can't do and have not already mastered. So that's the point of that, is that, and I get it. So, and I also do that. So when you go to your to-do list, you're like, so I got 5 things to do. Roger that. No problem. Let me go ahead and sit down and organize these little 5 things to do, because no, that I'm not doing, but I can make up my bed, get dressed, eat breakfast, organize my house, and then walk out the door and go do my daily task for the day. That I can do. I can do those things. I can do all things, the big and the small things. Okay. So get organized and stay organized. This message, this current information is from the American Psychiatric Association. I was shocked too when I found out whose article this was, but hey, it works. So what part of the brain do you use? What or how do you pivot back is something that takes a person off track. So what happens is, what I believe happens is that you have an unaccountable event or an unaccountable person show up in your life. And instead of holding them personally accountable or handling the conflict, your amygdala gets hijacked, and then that derails the process. So it is a direct result of an unaccountable person doing something. And now you either go to their rescue, you go to a fight, flight, freeze, or appease process, and it throws you off track. But it wasn't designed to do that. It came to test your resolve. So everything will be going along perfect, fine, wonderful, handy dandy, and all of that. Nola had a head cold about 2 weeks ago, and she still had to perform and do everything that she needed to do, because that's how you strengthen your resolve. Sharonda, you mentioned that you were not feeling well, and you still organized your vanity because that's what needed to be done. So that's where the strength to persevere, because persevere during adversity, during times of adversity, is also one of the 74 principles of real leadership. That's where the mental strength comes from. And there are experts out there that would say mental strength is go run 10 miles. Mental strength is punch a bag, lift some weights. Mental strength. No, mental strength comes when one of your defects of character shows up, one of your traumatic events shows up, and you persevere through that. You say, okay, yep, I understand that my amygdala is warning me that this might be that situation, but I still need to get on live today. I had a sinus infection and still was on live every day. Today is my day 494. Day of going live. So what happens is it's showing up to see if you are going to, which is another principle of real leadership, keep your word to yourself, or are you going to put it off to the wayside? Because if you keep your word, now you will be rewarded with your dopamine. So you had your dopamine even though you didn't feel well, because everything was organized for you. So that's what it's there to do, is to see if you, universe, higher power, whomever you believe in, is there to test you. Everybody back in the day, you got to test to have a testimony. We used to call it testing line back in the day. But when you had a real test and you pass it, you have this new neural pathway and this new strength that takes place. But if you let those unaccountable people and what they do throw you off, now you've lost. And now you got to start back over. Duolingo has a streak, and the Bible app has a streak as well. In Duolingo, you can have a streak freeze, but in the Bible app, you can't. So think about a streak that you have, and then all of a sudden that streak is broken because of an unaccountable act on your part or on the part of someone else's. So you have to get organized and stay organized. Just like I said, pick something small to declutter your life. The same thing happens with organization. So you can say, I'm going to be organized and I'm going to wake up at the same time every day, 7 days a week. Someone on Threads the other day said, are you looking forward to the weekend? And I replied, I said, I don't have weekends. I have 119 hours a week because there's 168 hours in a week. By the time you take sleep out and all that, you end up with 119 hours. So I have 119 hours a week to get shit done. There is no Saturday, Monday, weekend, all of that. It's 119 hours. That's what I'm going to use every week to get things done. And when you take that out of the equation, now, and I say get up every day at the same time and go to bed. People that work will sleep in on the weekends. You've lost your time. Naps are your friend. Take naps is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So still get up at the same time because your biorhythms, everything is where it needs to be. No, I'm going to just sleep in. Nope. I am up. If I get a nap, I get a nap. If not, I'm going to go to bed at the same doggone time. No matter how late we get home, I'm still going to get back up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So the point is to keep that routine, because what happens is now you can introduce new things because you have that morning routine. Now you can have your cognitive overload moment into your working memory, and now you'll be able to create more neural pathways. The more organized you are, the more you can actually accomplish. Now, you're not accomplishing other people's shit. I learned that. I'm not doing that. That's your stuff. I'm only doing my stuff. And that's it. Okay, so according to the APA, the American Psychiatric Association, you use the executive function of your brain to get organized and to stay organized. Now, they refer to the executive function of the brain as the CEO of the brain. It's in charge of making sure you get things done. And we have talked about the executive function of the brain. You can go back to previous lives to get that information. But as I have said, you are the CEO of Me Incorporated. So your executive function is the CEO of your mind. It is responsible for everything that you get done. And if you fail to get done, okay? So the executive functions helps you manage time. Now, I don't believe in managing time because time is going to happen no matter what. This is coming from them. What I do is I am time conscious. So I am consciously aware of how long things take to get done. Nola and I will be having a conversation. I won't be by a clock. I will have known what time the conversation started, and I could tell her what time it is. And the only time I'm not good at that is when we fucking spring forward and fall back because my biorhythms are off. But other than that, I'm within 1 or 2 minutes of what the actual time is because I know how long a minute is and how much time things actually take. So time consciousness is what I will say, but according to the article, it's managing time. So for example, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I do exfoliation with Morton salt on my skin, so my shower takes me 4 minutes longer because I have to salt my whole body. On Mondays, I shave my head, and so that process, if I've waited 2 weeks because of ingrown hairs, it's going to take me 20 minutes to shave my head. If it's not, then it's going to take 10 minutes for me to get it done. So I actually know how long tasks take for me to get things done because I've just been so consciously aware of my time the entire time of my life. But managing your time, if you want to choose that verbiage, I say being time conscious. You want to pay attention all the time and switch your focus. But we remember there is no, according to Brain Rules, the book, there is no multitasking. It's actually task jumping, and you don't want to do that. You actually just want to stay focused on the task that is at hand, finish it, and move on to the next task. And then plan and organize. I've said don't do anything without a strategy. Don't do anything without a strategy because it's going to always take longer if you don't have a strategy. Remember the details and then do things based upon experience. So that's what the executive function helps you do. Manage your time, be time conscious, pay attention. It allows you to shift your focus. It allows you to plan and organize. It allows you to remember the details and then do things based upon your experience. That's what your working memory does. It goes and grabs things from long term, brings it to the short term, and allows you to use your skill set back and forth. So how do you get organized and stay organized? Number one, to answer your question, Sharonda, you use a visual schedule and review it daily. Whatever that is, if that's a piece of paper, if it's digital on your phone, if it's a dry erase calendar. When I worked at Frito-Lay, I had those big, and in the Army, had those big giant desk calendars. I used to either put it on my wall on my desk if I had enough space, but you're going to use a visual schedule and review daily. They actually have these new big things that are bigger than iPads. Noah can tell you the name of it. We installed one for a client where it actually has everybody's family calendar, all of everybody's events in one place, so you can hook it to your phone, hook it to your watch, your tablets, and everything. And now you can see what everybody needs to see. So in the event you have a busy life, multiple children, sports events, or business and personal life that's busy, doctor's appointments and all that, it's in one place. I forgot what the name of it is, but it just looks like a big giant iPad. If you go to Michael's recently, it looks like those checkout screens that they have. So you need a visual schedule, and you have to review it daily. If you are a night person like Kevin and Nola, then you will review it at night. If you're a morning person like myself, I'm a lark, they're night owls. I'm going to review everything in the morning, because by 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm like, okay, I'm done. It's time for me to go to sleep. Number 2, you're going to create a to-do list. No more in the beginning than 5 or 8 items. Now, clearly, this is just from 3 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. You're not me. So do not put more than 5 to 8 items on that to-do list, or you're going to overwhelm yourself as you start to get organized. Now, when you find yourself already navigating through the list of 5 to 8 things, that's when you start adding more to it, because now you've become accustomed to what it is that you need to do on a daily basis. Now, everything that I'm talking about is daily. I'm not talking about, oh, you're having a 50th birthday party, let's plan that. Oh, this is your 25th wedding anniversary, you're planning that. I am literally talking about, it's the skylight. Is that what it's called? Sharonda, Nola, is that what it's called? I forgot, because we only did one. It would take me 3 to remember what it is. And it was a same day appointment, 5:30, 6 o'clock. By then, again, my brain is like, okay, got it. What is it? And then part of it is mounting electronics on the wall and the wiring and everything else. So I have to go somewhere else in my brain. So you're going to create a to-do list, 5 to 8 items. If you're a night person, create that to-do list at night. If you're a morning person, do it in the morning and review it in the morning. If you're a hummingbird, that means you can go to sleep and wake up at any time. It doesn't bother you. You can do it when you are at your peak performance of the day. Then number 3, you're going to organize personally and professionally your spaces. So your desk, your sleep space, your house, your car, wherever you are. We talked about it the other day, 2 days ago. Eliminate the clutter in your life, because clutter causes cortisol, and cortisol is either going to mess you up short term or long term. You're not going to be able to sleep. It could end up resulting in health issues and long term impacts, to include trauma. Yes, got it. Thank you for that. So you don't want to create cortisol, and clutter creates cortisol. Clutter up here is cortisol up here. Mess up here means mess out here. And so you have to get to the root cause. If you were not here 2 days ago, go back and look at that live, because that live discussed how you eliminate the clutter in your life. You are not going to be able to get organized and stay organized if you have clutter. It's not going to work, because cortisol is a coming. It's a coming, and it's a clouding, and it's going to create brain fog. You're not going to be able to think clearly at all. And then you need a step-by-step approach to long-term projects. Kevin, you know this, because you rehab houses and start from scratch sometimes. So you definitely need a step-by-step process for your projects. And I'd like to stop right here and say this. At some point, Nola here within the next year is going to start consulting independent contractors, because she is a 5-star contractor. And here's why. Because over the last 4 years, what I have noticed is that contractors do not, first of all, communicate with each other when there is a group project. And secondarily, they don't actually have a step-by-step process. And so that's why they overbid. It costs more. The project always goes longer. They don't understand the supply chain and all of these other moving pieces. And that's why everything takes way longer than it should. So when you have a step-by-step process, so Nola's process, and I can tell you this because, again, she will start consulting people, especially independent, self-employed people, because they definitely don't present well at all. They come showing up looking like a ragamuffin. All you got one bag, don't have a doggone vacuum, a broom, a trash bag, or nothing else. So she's there to assist them. But what happens is an appointment comes through the website, Yelp, text, or through TaskRabbit. The first thing that happens is she sends them questions based upon whatever it is. They answer the questions. If they don't answer the questions 24 hours before the appointment, she recontacts them again and says, hey, and it usually happens in TaskRabbit, because otherwise they know what to do. So she reminds them, go download the TaskRabbit app, go in there, answer the questions. I need pictures, I need links, I need your address, I need a gate code, I need to know if it's guarded gated. She tells them I bring an assistant who's also background checked. And in TaskRabbit, do you have any pets? Where are the boxes? All of these things, so that when we get to the appointment, she goes in and checks to make sure everything is copacetic. It is what it said it is. She makes sure that if it's not, it gets that way. Because if I come in, I will go to fuck off on it not being right on her, them, everybody else, because I'm holding everybody accountable to do what they said they needed done. So all that is done. I come in, we get the project done, and we leave. All of our projects have to be finished in the same day, in the same time, and most of the time within hours, which is like, woo, no pressure, right? So we had to get to that point, and we're done. Invoice, boom, get back in the car. If we need to conduct the AAR review, we do that, and then we move on. We have anywhere from 2 to 3 appointments a day, 26 days out the month. We take 4 to 5 days off, depending on if the month has 30 days or 31 days. That's her system. I'm doing that to teach her work ethic and grind, because people are like, I grind all the time. You ain't grinding, you whining. You wouldn't know grind if it came up to you and knocked on your door and said, hey, I'm grinding. So it's work ethic. My first 5.5 years in the Army, I was dirty, I was sweaty, I was always laying down somewhere, and it was difficult. And these are the character building years for her. So I'm doing this on purpose. But you have to have an approach, a step-by-step approach for every project that you do, so that it will be organized and you will not be stressed out. So when we get to appointments and a piece is missing, something is broken, they didn't send the hardware, we're just focused on that one thing to get the project done, because we knew how many boxes there were going to be. We knew what we were building. We knew what room it was going to be in and all of that. So we engineered all of that out. Preparation is key is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. We engineered most of that out. So now we just have to contend with this one thing or two things, and that makes the project a lot more fluid. Sometimes we have to wait for the part to come, the piece, and then come back. But for the most part, our objective is to finish what we start, which is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, in the defined time that we are there. And then there's no task jumping. To complete, you have to complete that one task. If you think that you're going to go from this task to this task to this task to this task, don't do that. Now, I do have a process that if I have a book that I don't like to read, I call it productive procrastination. So I will either read for 10 minutes or read 10 pages, and then I'll watch something on screen time and then come back. But I know that I am consciously doing that because I can get through this horrible dry ass material in order to make sure that I finish my book on time. So that's different, because I'm purposely saying, I'm going to do this for 20 minutes and then I'm going to do this. And that's what the book Brain Rules suggests, is that you do something for 20 to 30 minutes, switch, come back to it. But this whole, I'm listening to you, I'm talking on phone, no, it's not working, and you will be less productive trying to multitask. So no more multitasking. And then you want to use PEMDAS for priorities of work. Remember that we use parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So you need to be able to assess, when you have a bunch of things that need to be done, what's the priority? So where are the parentheses? Where is the exponent? Where's the multiplication in this situation? And that happens in the working memory as well. So if you need to practice your PEMDAS, just go to Khan Academy on YouTube. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not going to get a check or nothing. It's just one of the best ways to learn math. They have K through college. And work on your PEMDAS. That actually is going to help you work on your working memory, so that you will be able to do what we call in the military and at Frito-Lay priorities of work. What task needs to be done first, and then second, third, and so on and so forth. And then number 7, which is most important, is to hold yourself and others personally accountable. As I mentioned, there are 74 principles of real leadership, but the number one, numero uno, number eins, is hold yourself and others personally accountable. Nothing I say is going to work if you are unaccountable or anybody around you is unaccountable. It ain't never going to work. It's not. The math ain't math and the brain ain't braining. The accountability ain't accountability, and then it's not going to work. Do not try to half-ass do anything I'm saying, because it was built on a foundation of best, and it only works if unaccountable people are not in the equations. They are never part of real leader anything. And if you try to inculcate them, you are going to be personally unaccountable. Then you're going to tell me the shit don't work. And the first thing I'm going to say is, where the unaccountable people at? To include yourself. So get a mirror and get your list. Get your phone and get a mirror. Who was unaccountable? Because what I'm saying is it works, because I've already proven that it works. And other people have proven that it works. So you did something wrong. And I guarantee you it was because you were unaccountable, or you had some other unaccountable people around you, and that's why you couldn't get it done. So again, how to get organized is you need a visual schedule and review it daily. You need to create a to-do checklist, no more than 5 to 8 things until you start getting accustomed to doing this, and then you can add more. One day your list will potentially look like this. You want to organize your personal and professional spaces, declutter them, because that's going to create cortisol. You need a step-by-step approach to long projects, and I say really any project, you have to have a strategy. Don't do anything without a strategy. If you try to do it without a strategy and it goes left, you're not even going to be able to backtrack to see where it went left. So when Nola may get caught up in her ADHD and now we're at an appointment and I don't have the gate code, I'm like, where's the gate code at? Is if this is apartment building, why we don't have the wagon? Because there are systems in place for everything. There's strategies in place, and she gonna get told, see, this is why you need to bring the wagon. This is what this is about to happen, and this is what this, because I'm going to make sure that she's being personally accountable, because her and her clients are not going to stop me from doing what it is that I need to do. That's not what's going. We have walked in a couple appointments, maybe about 10, and the client then tried to pop off or not do what we said, and I'm like, get your shit, let's go. We're out. And they looking crazy like, no, you called us. We ain't come knocking on your door. You came and asked her. Don't be questioning shit. Well, are you sure you're going to be able to do this? Nope. You don't want to saw all those 5-star reviews just because she 5'2", 110 pounds when she just got measured weighed yesterday. We don't have time for that. You didn't do your part, because I told her you a 5-star contractor and they need to be 5-star clients, because people think because they got money they can treat you any old kind of way, and they can't. All money ain't good money. So nope, not coming back. Absolutely not. It's a her digital calendar is the one we did. Okay, so there you go, Sharonda. It's a her digital calendar. Okay. So, yes. So, no task jumping. You can do a task for a specific period of time, and then you can use PIMDIS for priorities of work. Go to Khan Academy and work on it there, and then hold yourself and others accountable. But projects need to have strategies. Now, you develop a strategy for everything. Don't do anything without a strategy. Nothing at all. If you don't have a strategy for it, don't do it until you do. And don't partner with people who are not strategic. Oh yeah, we're just gonna figure it out when we get there. Well, I'll tell you what ain't gonna be there when you get there. Me. I won't be there. I don't know what we're doing. I'm not showing up. No. It's gonna be good. No. I'm not getting in the car. I'm not getting dressed. I'm not putting on hair. I'm not doing anything until I know exactly from the beginning what we're doing. And one final thing that I'd like to say is when you have to have meetings, you need timed agendas. How long are we going to be talking about this? And how long? And you need a facilitator making sure that you stay on time. And I learned this from Toastmasters, a timekeeper. If we're going to be talking about previous projects for 10 minutes, then at the 10-minute mark, we're done. And what you do is you send the agenda out ahead of time. So everybody already had the agenda. When we get to the meeting, we are talking about the agenda, because most meetings are full of shit. Meaningless meetings is what I call them, because people are like, yeah, so wait a minute. I got to go back to my office to get that project. Not me. I done met with executives at the major hotels and been on conference calls for 17 minutes or less and getting big shit done. We are just confirming everything that I already did. Yep, those are the contractors that's going to be there. It's going to be at the chamber at this time. What are you bringing? You got the slides. Send those slides to Lisa. This is where the coffee is going to be. Got it. Bada boom, bada bing. We'll see you on Wednesday at 9 a.m. And flawless execution. And the one time I was at, because I do 15 minutes, the one time I was 19 minutes was because the person that was from MGM had a different conference call, and we were waiting 4 minutes for them to get on that conference call. So it's that detailed down to right here. This is what we got, boom, bada bing. Because that preparation is the key to everything that you do. When you get organized and stay organized, everybody knows what to do. And when you don't do that and shit goes left, that's on y'all. It's on everybody. If it doesn't go as planned, whoever was responsible for the meeting, that's on you. Meetings shouldn't even be more than 30 minutes. Actual meetings, if everybody's done their part, it's got to be huge for that meeting to go 30 minutes. Huge, major. Like a lot of people got to talk in order for it to work. And that should have been broken down if it's that many people that need to talk. Okay. What questions do you have about getting organized and staying organized? My poor little thumb. And remember, ... What was number 6? 6 is use PIMDIS for priorities of work. So go to Khan Academy on YouTube and practice your PEMDAS, because that's, parentheses, exponents, what is it? Multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. That's how you get to, especially for you, Kevin, because you have so many different moving pieces in your business all at once. My pleasure. Okay, so go to the website and go to your social media tab. So you're going to the turnarounddoctor.com. Go into the social media tab. Letters from Louise is the third one up from the bottom. And you are going to be going to, is it going to let me go? There we go. You're going to go to questions. So the turnarounddoctor.com social media tab, third one from the bottom, letters from Louise. This is a quick short read, for real. It's not going to be a minute. And then you're going to read it. And then whatever comes up for you, go ahead and type that in the comment section. I've already read it once this morning. I'll do it again. And my pleasure if I didn't say that, Sharonda. Sunshine, moonlight, again. The questions. So you're going to letters from Louise, and it's questions. Type. And I did figure out why the the springing forward and falling back affects me more than if I traveled to another country and came back. It's because it's only an hour, and you sleep in 90-minute REM cycles. So if we sprang forward 2 hours, it wouldn't bother me because I would hit a whole REM cycle. But this hour is in the middle of a REM cycle, and that's what makes you so tired. It's just enough not to be enough. Okay, got it. So now you're confused. I understand that. And so I used the whole who, what, where, why, when, and how to make this poem. That was the purpose of it. When things are out of balance or control, these are the questions most of us ask ourselves. Got it. And it is past tense, so you are looking at what happened. And so I go back to getting organized and staying organized. When you are getting organized and staying organized, you don't have these questions because you can just go back to the strategy. And no, you said I need to ask more self-reflection questions. So then you just assess. You're actually doing an after-action review and assessing what you need to do in order to improve, or did it go well, and now you just implement it again and again. So this is from a reaction perspective as opposed to conducting an AAR, an after-action review, come from the military, from the Army. Now you're assessing what went well, what didn't go well, and what needs to be improved. And in Frito-Lay, it used to be called stop, start, and continue, so that you can ensure that you're always executing the best strategy available to you. The questions of people are out of balance and not organized. The questions of people of out of balance and not organized. Yes. Okay. So again, letters from Louise. I challenged myself on these poems. Start the question with who, what, where, why, when, and how, and then end it with happen, happening, to be able to do that. Because once I understood again the purpose of poetry and to invoke thought, and it doesn't have to be the sky is blue, but why kind of airy fairy la la foo foo stuff. I realized that I could make it more tangible and concrete and still get the same impact as well. And as Nola has said in the past, I real leaderfied poetry. So you have that. All right. The next is follow up. What new neural pathway did you create yesterday? What did you get, like a little flicker and start your wiring to go to? My new neural pathway that I did while you were typing is that I started responding to people on threads more, because I see things that they say and then I don't really necessarily do it. So I'm in contact with a young man who is saying that he's basically saying it's better to have money than to be poor. And so I'm challenging his brain to tell him that you're sacrificing your time to make money. And he's saying, yeah, but I'm sacrificing my time right now so that I will have a better future. And I am telling him that you, at first he said, well, you're purchasing, you're going to purchase your future. And I said, well, you can't repurchase the past. So if you become a millionaire in 2024, then you can't repurchase 2024. So those 366 days, I said 65, realizing it was a leap year, 366 days are gone forever. You can't then take the $1 million and go back and repurchase 2024. So then he said, well, I'm not trying to repurchase it. I don't want to trade time for money in the future. And so what I told him is, you have today. You have right now. Make the most of today. Do not sacrifice today for a future day that may or may not be here, because tomorrow is not promised. And I explained I have had great days broke, and I have had terrible, awful, bad experiences at the height of having money. So there has to be balance in all of it, because you will not be able to get that time back. And so time is the most valuable resource, not money, but time, because time, money you can get back. We're never getting this day back. And so value and appreciate that. Now, that's not something that I would have done. And I have about 4 of those conversations going on right now. Someone else asked, what is something that you waited too long to discover in your life? And I told that person, I came out as a nerd. October 1st, 2024, after 51 years, I'm now admitting to the world that I'm actually a nerd. And I have 2 more conversations that are going. So the new neural pathway that I'm having is that I wouldn't have those conversations with people online and be me 100%. I might just answer their questions, but to challenge their brain, to give them something to think about, I'm doing that on purpose, to give them this whole other totally different perspective. And I'm only doing it because they asked the question. So I'm not going to shut the fuck up. You know what you're talking about. But you asked, so you showed up on my feed on threads. I'm going to answer your question. That's the new pathway that I'm creating, is I'm keeping it on the amygdala. And then also having the conversation. Nola had 3 opportunities yesterday. Things were coming up and bothering her. And so I said, okay, well, let's look at the principles of real leadership. And she had her own takeaways from that. But then she was like, wow, so they're doing this and this and this and this and this. And I said, yes. So what's happening is, how you use the principles of real leadership is this. When something is taking place, you can say, oh, this person is doing this. This is how many of the principles of real leadership they're using. Or this is how many they're not using. And that lets you determine how personally accountable a person is or how personally unaccountable a person is. And what she found is that people were not being effective, leader led, or powerful. And she was just going down the list like boom, 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 boom. And then it becomes extremely obvious what is actually taking place. And now she is finding that when you anchor everything to the principles of real leadership, there is no amygdala hijacking. There is no dopamine boost or anything. It's just real oxytocin, real nice and calm, and just it is what it is. It's not, this person is not leading by example. This person wasn't being honest. This person didn't keep their word, and now you have something. And as I mentioned, we didn't get a manual for adulthood, and we didn't get a manual for our nice, amazing brains. We didn't get how to adult, and we didn't get how to use our brain. When you're on the playground, you got to get along. You got to get along. And then you become an adult and you forget all those values and principles. It's like, yeah, but not everybody adults. So how are we going to do that? And the answer is the principles of real leadership. Good morning, Lola. The answers are principles of real leadership. So what new neural pathways did you create? I forgot to write this down. And what barrier? It's not for y'all. It's for my own records. And now I'm cold. Gotta love the hot flashes. They are great. You gotta love the hot flashes. They are great. Hot flash. Sweating out, baby. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Nola, are you thinking, because I didn't see your ... The question on the table is, what did you do to create new neural pathways yesterday? Creating new pathways to understand the total connection of beauty to confidence. Long story. Was that? Send me an email, Kevin. I'd be interested to understand that better. All right. And Sharonda, you said, I faced the fear of offending. A family member would open old wounds and then say, I'm not offending you. This time I let her know, yes, you are offending me, and stop bringing it up to me. Yes. And that's what the person told me. As soon as someone says, and I might do a you ever notice that if I don't already have one. You ever notice that every time someone says no offense, it's offensive? It's like, no, you don't, no offense. Yeah, it is. Just go ahead and say it. Don't try to like couch it to make it seem like it's not offensive. They want to say it, but then they don't want to be completely accountable. Oh, I'm about to offend the shit out of you. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Just own it. If you're going to do it, own it 100%. I'm going to be offensive. I'm going to. So P.S. take notes. But that's their way of cowardice-ness. I actually, by using the real leader principles throughout my conversations, made me have to use neural pathways by looking to them and have to find which ones that apply to what I am saying. Yes, and that's what I was saying as well. So here is again my suggestion. Buy my book from one of the wholesalers on Amazon so that you get the stories. In the short term or in the interim, go to the website every time. Yes, ma'am. Go to the website and literally look at it, because initially Nola was having a conversation and she was like, and I was like, okay, I understand. Do we need to do the feelings right now? Or are you ready to go look at the principles of real leadership to see which ones are not being used? And once she started going through the list, she was like, bam, bam, bam. And it became so clear. It became so clear what was actually taking place. And then the calmness came. And now it's like, see, I told you. This is the benefit of using the principles of real leadership, because you have something tangible. Unaccountable people don't want you to have something tangible to hold them accountable to. But if someone says, I'm going to call you back at 3 p.m. and you don't hear from them for 4 months, you get to say, you did not keep your word. You told me on March 13th at 5:30 a.m. you were calling me back and at 4 p.m. and you didn't. And now it's 4 months later, 3 p.m. is 4 months later. You didn't keep your word to me. So you literally have what they said they were going to do and what they didn't. And now they can try to argue or try to have, and then if they try to argue, you just go right to handle conflict when it occurs. Now, what caused you to say that? Why are you not keeping your word with me? And now you get to have this different conversation because you have these principles that you hold these values to. That's what it is. We don't have anything as adults anchoring adults to anything. So people can do whatever they want. Everybody makes mistakes. Okay, I understand you made a mistake, but apologize when you were wrong. It's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Establish trust and be trustworthy. Keep your word. Be honest. So every time an unaccountable person has something to say, now you have one of the 70 or more of the 74 principles of real leadership to come back to them and say, this is why you're unaccountable. This is why I don't fuck with you, because this is why. And now you know. And so now they have a choice. Create neurogenesis and start following the principles of real leadership themselves and make it neuropability, or exit stage left. And now you don't have to double back. You don't have to second guess yourself. You still mad at that? That happened years ago. I'm still mad because you haven't apologized and you haven't repented. You haven't changed your behavior and you're still the same. And you want me to stay how I used to be in order for this toxic shit to work. And I'm not doing it. I'm not putting a protective mask on and Mach 4 gear so I can be in a relationship with you. I'm going over here in the land of real leaders where the air is clear and we all can breathe freely. That's what I'm going to do. So continue to look at those 74 principles of real leadership. Again, we will be dialing through them so that you can understand the connection to the brain and how to implement them in the best way possible. And we can put an end to this. We can definitely put an end to this. That would be great and wonderful. In my lifetime, I would love to see it. The real leader principle that you will be executing today or implementing is to get organized and stay organized. So what you're going to do is you're going to develop a strategy for your morning routine. You're going to develop a concrete strategy 7 days a week. This is what your morning routine is going to be. This is what it's going to be. When I get up, and even for the night people, if you get up, I press the snooze button 7 times, clank, 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 and then I wake up. It's your truth because you have to be honest in order for you to start becoming your best. So you're going to develop a strategy for your morning routine, and then that will help you throughout the rest of your day. Now, for Nola and Kevin, you can prepare it at night and just start implementing it in the morning, but it is the routine for your morning. So how you choose what time of day you choose to develop that today, totally up to you when your brain is at its highest peak of learning and coherency and cognition, but you will have it to start using it tomorrow and every day forward. If you have a significant other, explain to them what you are doing so that they will understand this is now my routine. So like, where you going? What you doing? Why you waking up that time? What you doing? You want all that going on. You want to be honest and transparent at what's taking place because it's going to create a new neural pathway. What it's also going to do is to help you start doing things with a strategy. Everything. I don't do anything without a strategy, and I'm telling you, it is the best way to live your life. Now, the unaccountables will say, I like to be off the cuff, and I like to be sporadic, and your shit show of a life shows that. I see it. I see all of your spontaneity all over the place. I had to move 4 laundry baskets to sit on your couch. This is great. This is working. It's not. Because have fun is one of the 74 principles of real leadership as well. Finally, let's go ahead and close out. What did you learn today? So again, your assignment, your homework for today is set up a morning schedule. Get organized in your morning routine. So that's from the time you wake up until the time you exit, go out the door, or you are ready for your day. So if yours includes breakfast and morning news or whatever it is, from the time you wake up until you start your day, what does that look like for you? And then what did you learn today? I learned today that I don't like talking about get organized and stay organized because I'm a little hyped about things in the morning, and I was woke up this morning like it's like I went to sleep on time. I even had a nap yesterday. What the hell is happening? And then it hit me when it was time to record the video. I was like, I get organized and stay organized. I gotta say this again because I've been teaching this since I was at Frito-Lay. You're so organized, help the managers, help the admins, help the like, nope, don't feel like doing this again. Definition of insanity. People ain't gonna do it. But I was obedient and I taught it anyway. And Sharonda got some information. So there we have it. Learn the executive function is the CEO of the brain. Yes, it is. And sometimes you need to fire the CEO and get a new one. If you have an unaccountable CEO running the executive function, ain't nothing gonna get done. So you need to have a board meeting and get rid of them. You is unaccountable. You is about to leave, and there is no severance package, no stock options or nothing. There's no buyout. Get out and hire a new CEO that is ready for neurogenesis and neuroprobability, so y'all can actually do something. I learned I need to have a set morning schedule if we were in Europe. Okay. So much. 7 points on how to get organized. The executive function makes sure you get things done. Yes, and you might need to get a new CEO. Okay, so tomorrow we will be talking about eliminating distractions. Everybody has some distractions that will stop them from becoming their best. So be prepared for that. I will be back tomorrow, God, higher power, and the universe willing. Kevin, if you want to send me an email to just explain further, because now I got like a question mark. I know we don't have time here to get it done, but I'd just like to know what it was. I think that would be an interesting topic. Yeah, if you're willing. No pressure. And so again, you all go off and have, I think it's Thursday. Yes, it is Thursday. So you all go off and do something grand for yourself in addition to preparing for your morning schedule. Again, I will be back tomorrow. God, higher power, the universe willing. Same time, same place, same face, different t-shirt. Y'all take care. Adios.